The galaxy had long forgotten about humans. Most star systems believed humans were only legends, stories told by old travelers and historians. Some said they were extinct. Others said humans had never been strong enough to matter. But in the dark corners of space, far beyond the reach of the main colonies, humans were quietly preparing. Captain Leora Vance stared at the blinking console aboard the Horizon, the lead ship of the human fleet. Her eyes narrowed as she watched the incoming signals from the outer sectors. Strange readings, faint but unusual. They weren't from any known alien civilization. They weren't from natural phenomena either. Something or someone was moving in the shadows. Another anomaly? Lieutenant Aaron asked, his voice cautious. Leora didn't reply immediately. She had been trained to read beyond the data, to sense patterns where others only saw noise. Yes, she said finally. And this one feels different. Something is coming. In the distance, alien scouts floated through space. They had no idea they were being watched. They scanned the empty darkness, unaware of the massive human fleet hidden behind asteroid fields and nebula clouds. Humans had been building for decades, secretly, quietly, and with perfect discipline. Every ship, every weapon, every fleet maneuver had been carefully planned. The galaxy did not yet know the storm was coming. Back on the horizon, the crew moved with precision. Engineers checked the engines, weapons officers calibrated the plasma cannons, and navigators plotted routes through the safest and most secretive parts of space. They did not panic. Humans never panicked. Fear was for those who underestimated them. Meanwhile, far away, on a distant observation station orbiting the Andros cluster, alien officers noticed the unusual signals. "It's nothing," said Commander Zyler, trying to sound confident. But deep down he knew something was off. "We've never seen readings like this before. Could it be human activity?" The word human made several officers shift uncomfortably. It had been centuries since humans had been more than a myth. Now that myth seemed to be stirring. Back on the horizon, Leora tapped her fingers on the console, watching a holographic map of the outer galaxy. Tiny dots moved silently through the void, human ships, thousands of them, hidden and waiting. Not a single alien knew their exact location. The humans were shadows, and shadows could strike anywhere. Lieutenant Aaron looked at her, trying to hide his excitement. "Do you think they'll notice us soon?" he asked. "They already are," Leora said, her voice calm but firm. "It's only a matter of time before the galaxy realizes that humans are not just stories. We are the storm waiting in the dark." As night fell on distant planets, humans continued their work. Training, building, perfecting. On some worlds, colonies were alive with activity, but on most, silence ruled. Silence was part of the plan. The galaxy needed to believe that humans were harmless, or extinct. Underestimation was humanity's greatest weapon. In the blackness of space, small skirmishes had already begun. Human scouts intercepted alien cargo ships, disabling them without firing a single shot. Reports of ghost attacks spread through alien networks. Ships vanished, stations reported malfunctions, and entire fleets began to hesitate. Some aliens whispered to each other, calling the humans ghosts, phantoms, or simply legends that should have died long ago. But no one knew the real scale of what humans had built. Not a single alien commander could imagine what was coming. Thousands of dreadnoughts, the mightiest warships ever created, waited silently beyond detection. Each one was a masterpiece of engineering. Each one carried weapons capable of destroying entire fleets. And each one was manned by humans trained for decades, ready for a war the galaxy could not yet see. Leora stood in the observation deck, watching distant stars twinkle. To any observer, it was a peaceful scene, calm and quiet. But she knew the truth. Peace was only a cover. The galaxy was blind to the storm gathering in the shadows. And when that storm struck, legends would turn to reality. She turned to her crew. "Prepare for the unknown," she said. "The galaxy thinks we are myths. Let's remind them why myths are dangerous." Outside, in the cold vacuum of space, the hidden human fleets drifted silently. No one could see them. No one could stop them. And as the stars watched, the first hints of a silent threat moved through the galaxy, unseen but unstoppable. The legends of humanity were not just stories anymore. They were awakening. The galaxy had always underestimated humans. To most alien civilizations they were myths, old stories told to children about brave warriors and impossible feats. But myths have a way of coming true. Captain Leora Vance stood on the bridge of the horizon, staring at the holographic map of the outer sectors. The first targets were chosen carefully, small alien outposts that had been quietly expanding into unclaimed space. Human scouts had observed them for months, learning every patrol route, every weapon system, every weakness. "Shall we proceed, Captain?" asked Lieutenant Aaron, his eyes shining with anticipation. Leora didn't answer immediately. She studied the map, watching the blinking dots of alien ships moving predictably along their routes. Then she nodded. "Deploy the scouts. Keep it silent. Let them think we are not here. Let the legend begin." In the shadows of space, small human fighter ships slipped through asteroid fields and nebula clouds. They moved like ghosts, unseen and unheard. Suddenly, a single alien cargo ship entered their path. The scouts acted instantly. With precision, they disabled the engines and communications without firing a single shot. The alien crew had no idea what had struck them. Moments later, reports began to come in from other sectors. A freighter had vanished near the Velner cluster. A small outpost had stopped responding near the Draconis belt. Panic spread quietly through alien networks. The humans had shown their first warning, and it was enough to make enemies uneasy. On the bridge of the horizon, Leora smiled slightly. "They are beginning to notice," she said. "The galaxy is starting to remember us." But this was only the beginning. Small victories were meant to spark fear, to show the aliens that humans were not only alive but dangerous. As the scouts returned, Leora and her officers analyzed the results. The aliens were cautious now. Patrols doubled and fleets started to hesitate before moving into unclaimed sectors. Every hesitation gave humans an advantage. Every doubt weakened the enemy. Commander Zyler, from the Andrus cluster, paced nervously in his office. Reports of ghost attacks had reached him and he could not ignore them. "Humans," he whispered. The word felt strange on his tongue, as if he were speaking of something ancient and impossible. Could it be them? He called for an emergency meeting. Alien leaders gathered, their faces tense and worried. For centuries, humans had been nothing more than stories. Now, those stories were attacking their fleets, disabling ships, and vanishing without a trace. Fear had taken root. Meanwhile, human crews celebrated quietly. There were no grand speeches, no loud cheers. Humans did not celebrate small victories. Every mission was a step toward something greater. Every enemy ship disabled was a reminder of their purpose. Every success built the momentum of a hidden storm that the galaxy could not yet imagine. "Captain," Aaron said, pointing to a distant signal. "There's something unusual in the Velner cluster. Multiple ships moving together, but they don't know we are watching." Leora studied the readings. "Perfect," she said softly. "Let them think they are safe. Let them feel confident. That is when humans strike hardest." The scouts moved silently, shadowing the alien fleet. They learned patterns, studied reactions, and reported back every detail. Every small engagement was a lesson, preparing humans for what was coming next. Every step was carefully planned to build fear before the full storm arrived. By the time the first alien commanders realized humans were real, it was already too late. Confusion spread through their ranks. Orders were delayed. Fleets hesitated. Communication broke down. The humans had delivered their first warning, not through destruction but through uncertainty, precision, and the knowledge that an unseen enemy could strike at any moment. Back on the horizon, Leora looked at her crew. "This is only the first warning," she said. "The galaxy will soon learn that humans are not myths. They are legends, and legends are dangerous." Outside, in the cold blackness of space, human fleets waited silently. Their presence was unknown. Their power was unseen. And as alien fleets began to doubt, humans moved like shadows through the stars, preparing for the battles that would shake the galaxy to its core. The first warning had been given. The galaxy had heard it, and fear had begun to spread. The galaxy was beginning to whisper the name of humans. Once thought extinct, once considered legends, humans were now stirring fear in every corner of the stars. But most alien civilizations still did not know the full truth. They had seen only small attacks, shadowy raids, and ghostly disappearances. They had no idea what was really coming. Captain Leora Vance stood on the bridge of the horizon, gazing at the vast holographic display. Thousands of points blinked softly in the darkness. Each point was a ship, a human dreadnought, a war machine the galaxy had never seen before. 10,000 dreadnoughts, hidden for decades, now ready to rise. 10,000 ships, whispered Lieutenant Aaron. The galaxy cannot even imagine. Leora did not answer. She did not need to. She knew the aliens would soon realize, and by then it would be too late. Human fleets had grown quietly, silently. Construction yards on hidden planets had worked for generations. Engineers, scientists, and pilots had all prepared for this moment. Every weapon, Every system, every crew member had been trained for one goal: to reclaim humanity's place in the stars. Meanwhile, in alien command centers across the galaxy, unease grew. Reports of unusual human activity were spreading. Fleets that had once moved confidently now hesitated. Rumors whispered of entire human shipyards beyond detection, building war machines faster than any alien fleet could imagine. Commander Zyler from the Andrus cluster convened a council in panic. "How can this be?" he demanded. "They are legends. They should be gone. They should be myths." But myths, he realized, were alive. And myths had power beyond belief. Back on the horizon, Leora tapped her fingers on the console, watching her fleet through advanced sensors. Scout ships flew ahead, mapping alien patrols, testing defenses, and gathering intelligence. Each report confirmed what humans already knew: the galaxy's enemies were unprepared. They underestimated humans. And underestimation was humanity's greatest weapon. In hidden construction stations, thousands of engineers worked tirelessly. Dreadnoughts were equipped with plasma cannons, hyperdrives, and shields capable of withstanding entire fleet attacks. Every ship was perfect, every crew meticulously trained. The human armada was no longer a fleet, it was a living weapon. Lieutenant Aaron turned to Leora, voice trembling slightly with excitement. "When we move, they will see. They will finally understand." Leora nodded slowly. "Not yet," she said. "Patience is our advantage. Let the galaxy grow afraid of shadows. Let them hear whispers of our name. When we strike, it must be total." In the shadows of unclaimed space, small fleets of human ships tested their maneuvers. Alien ships had no idea they were being observed. Each small engagement was a lesson, each move precise, calculated, and designed to spread fear. Stories began to circulate in alien sectors of ghost fleets that appeared out of nowhere and vanished without a trace. The first warning had been enough to unsettle the galaxy, but the human armada was far greater than anyone could guess. Thousands of dreadnoughts waited silently, ready to move at a moment's notice. The galaxy's legends of human weakness were about to be shattered completely. Leora looked at her crew. "The armada grows," she said quietly. "And soon the galaxy will learn the truth. We are not ghosts. We are not myths. We are humanity, and humanity has returned." Outside, the stars glittered peacefully, but beneath that calm, immense power gathered. Ships, weapons, and crews waited silently, hidden in nebulae behind asteroids and on distant moons. The humans were ready, but they would not strike until the time was right. Patience, precision, and power, that was humanity's plan. The galaxy had been warned, but only in whispers. Soon the full storm would be revealed. And when it was, the galaxy would never forget the name of humans. The legend was no longer a story. It was alive. And the armada was ready to rise. The galaxy had been warned. Whispers of humans, ghost fleets, and strange disappearances had spread through every corner of space. But nothing could prepare the alien civilizations for what was coming. Captain Leora Vance stood on the bridge of the horizon, her eyes fixed on the holographic map. The first major alien fleet had entered the unclaimed sector near the Draconis belt. Thousands of ships, heavily armed and confident. They believed humans were weak legends. They were wrong. "Captain," Lieutenant Aaron said, pointing at the map. "They are moving in formation. They think they are in control." Leora nodded. "Then let them feel our control," she said. "Deploy the fleet. Silent, precise, and lethal. Make them remember humans are not myths." The human ships moved like shadows through the darkness, slipping between asteroids and nebulae. Alien sensors picked up tiny disturbances but could not locate the fleet. They were too focused on their own plans, unaware that the storm was already among them. Suddenly, human scouts attacked the lead alien vessels. Plasma beams sliced through shields, disabling engines without causing unnecessary destruction. Alien captains were confused, unsure of what had struck them. Reports of missing ships and sudden system failures caused chaos in their ranks. "Captain, they're trying to regroup," Aaron said, tension rising in his voice. "Let them," Leora replied calmly. "Disorder is our advantage. We fight smart, not recklessly. Follow the plan." The human dreadnoughts began to emerge from hiding. One by one, massive warships glided into the alien formation. Plasma cannons flared, shields lit up, and for the first time in centuries the galaxy saw humans in full force. Alien ships fired back, but they were unprepared. Human tactics were unlike anything they had seen. Every movement was coordinated, every attack precise. Ships flanked the enemy, disabling weapons and engines in moments. Aliens realized too late that the humans were not only strong, they were brilliant. Commander Zyler watched from his command station, panic rising. How can they move like this? He demanded. They are not supposed to exist. But humans did exist. And they were unstoppable when prepared. On the horizon, Leora's voice was calm but firm. Push forward. Focus on strategy, not brute force. This is only the beginning. Show them why humans are feared across the stars. The battle raged, but humans maintained discipline. They avoided unnecessary casualties, striking only where needed. Aliens, on the other hand, were thrown into confusion. Communications were disrupted, formations broken, morale dropping fast. The first clash had already shown them that legends were more dangerous than reality. Enemy flagship down, Captain, Aaron reported, eyes wide. They're retreating. Leora allowed herself a small smile. Good. Let them run. Fear spreads faster than fire. The galaxy will remember this day. As the alien fleet fled, human scouts reported minimal losses. Every move had been precise, every strike calculated. Humanity had proven its strength, its intelligence, and its strategy. The first clash was over, but the message was clear. Humans were no longer myths. They were a force to be reckoned with. Back on the horizon, Leora looked out into the star-filled darkness. The first clash is done, she said softly. But the galaxy has only seen a shadow of what we can do. The real storm is yet to come. Outside, hidden fleets waited silently, ready for the next phase. The aliens had seen humans fight, but they had not yet seen the full scale of the armada. Patience, precision, and power, that was humanity's strength. And soon the galaxy would face it in full. The first clash was only the beginning. Legends had awakened. And now the universe would tremble. The galaxy was waking up to a terrifying truth. Humans were not extinct. Humans were not myths. Humans were real, and they were stronger than anyone could imagine. Captain Leora Vance stood on the bridge of the horizon, watching alerts flood in. Alien alliances that had once been confident were now converging. Hundreds of ships from multiple civilizations moved toward the same sector. They believed that together they could stop the humans. They were wrong. Captain, we're facing the largest fleet yet, Lieutenant Aaron said, his voice tense but controlled. They've brought everything they have. Leora's eyes did not waver. Then we will show them why humans are legends. Prepare the fleet. Every ship, every cannon, every crew member, ready for battle. The human armada, though smaller in number, moved like a single organism. Ships slid silently through asteroid fields and nebulae, unseen, unpredictable. Alien fleets were massive but clumsy. They relied on sheer numbers, thinking strategy was secondary. They were about to learn that humans were not only disciplined, they were brilliant. The first shots rang out. Plasma beams tore through alien shields, causing panic among enemy ranks. Humans had studied every tactic, every pattern of their enemies. Ambushes were perfect, strikes precise. Every attack hit exactly where it would do the most damage. Commander Zyler watched helplessly as his fleet faltered. How can they fight like this? They are only humans, he shouted. Humans were more than that. They were adaptable, clever, and fearless. They knew the strengths of their enemies and the weaknesses of themselves. Every crew member acted with purpose. Every captain understood that victory depended not on numbers alone, but on strategy, courage, and willpower. In the chaos of the first encounter, the Horizon led a daring maneuver, slipping between two massive enemy warships. Plasma cannons fired with perfect timing, disabling both vessels simultaneously. Alien commanders struggled to reorganize, but it was too late. Confusion spread across their fleets. Fear took root. Enemy forces breaking formation, Aaron reported. They are retreating from multiple sectors. Leora did not celebrate. Instead, she studied the map. Good. Let them run, but don't underestimate them. Legends learn quickly when they face a real threat. The galaxy is watching. And the story of humans is only growing. Across the stars, stories began to spread. Alien soldiers whispered of humans who fought like shadows, striking perfectly and vanishing without a trace. Legends were no longer myths, they were living proof. Fear of humans began to ripple through the galaxy. Alliances quarreled, fleets hesitated, and commanders doubted themselves. Back on the horizon, Leora walked along the bridge, her gaze calm and determined. Every clash strengthens us, she said softly. Every legend we meet is another step toward reclaiming our place in the stars. Humans were underestimated, but now the galaxy will remember why legends endure. Outside, in the cold darkness of space, the hidden human armada waited. thousands of ships ready to strike wherever needed. The aliens had seen humans fight, and they had learned that humans were unstoppable when united. This battle was not just about ships and weapons. It was about proving humanity's place in the galaxy. And humans were proving it, not with arrogance but with courage, intelligence, and unity. The collision of legends had begun. The galaxy would never be the same. The galaxy had fought its first battles against humans, and it was terrified. But even the largest alien fleets did not yet know the full truth. They had seen humans fight, they had witnessed clever strategies and precision attacks, but the humans had been holding back. Captain Leora Vance stood on the bridge of the horizon, her eyes scanning the holographic map of the outer galaxy. The moment had come. The hidden human dreadnoughts, thousands of them, were ready to reveal themselves. The armada that the galaxy could not imagine would soon dominate the stars. "Captain," Lieutenant Aaron said, his voice tight with awe, "it's time. They are moving into the open. The galaxy will see everything." Leora nodded. "Yes. Let them witness the storm they cannot escape." Across the sectors, alien fleets had gathered, confident that they could challenge humans. But suddenly, distant blips appeared on their sensors, thousands of dots, moving in perfect formation, a shadow that stretched across the stars. At first, the aliens thought it was a trick, a sensor malfunction. But as the blips grew closer, the terrifying truth became clear. Humans had been hiding the full power of their fleet. Commander Zyler's face turned pale. "No, it cannot be. 10,000 dreadnoughts?" he whispered. They were real. And they were coming. The human dreadnoughts moved like an unstoppable wave. Plasma cannons flared, shields glowed, and engines hummed with disciplined power. Every ship was manned by crews trained for decades. Every ship was equipped with weapons designed to destroy entire fleets. The hidden armada had finally emerged. "Fire at will," Leora commanded. "Show them the strength of humanity." In seconds, alien formations were disrupted. Fleets that had been confident now struggled to respond. Orders were shouted and ignored, confusion spreading like wildfire. No one had expected this. No one could match it. Lieutenant Aaron watched in awe as ships moved with perfect coordination, striking from multiple directions. "They can't even keep up," he said, shaking his head. "Every move is perfect." Leora's eyes remained calm. "This is what patience brings. Years of preparation. Decades of training. Every legend that doubted humanity will remember this moment." The alien fleets tried to regroup, but it was futile. Human dreadnoughts were faster, smarter, and stronger. They cut through enemy lines, disabling weapons, shields, and engines. Panic spread across the alien commanders. They realized too late that the humans were not only fighters, they were a force that could never be defeated through conventional means. "Retreat!" Zyler screamed. But even retreat was difficult. Human ships blocked exits, controlling every possible escape route. The aliens were trapped in a galaxy they thought they controlled. The turning point had come. The humans were no longer hidden. They were no longer myths. The galaxy had been forced to witness their full might. 10,000 dreadnoughts, disciplined crews, and decades of preparation. The humans were unstoppable. On the horizon, Leora looked at her crew. "We have shown the galaxy what it means to underestimate humans. But this is only the beginning. Every star, every fleet, every civilization will learn our name. And when they do, they will fear it." In the darkness of space, the human armada drifted silently for a moment, powerful and perfect. Then, like a storm, they moved again, precise, unstoppable, and inevitable. The turning point had come. The galaxy would never forget the day humans revealed their true power. The galaxy would never forget this day. For centuries, humans had been myths, stories whispered among civilizations. Now, those myths had come alive, and they had changed the universe forever. Captain Leora Vance stood on the bridge of the horizon, her eyes scanning the stars. 10,000 dreadnoughts stretched across the void, a silent armada of humanity's might. The alien fleets that had once laughed at legends were now scattered, defeated, or retreating in terror. "Captain," Lieutenant Aaron said, voice filled with awe, "they are fleeing everywhere. They cannot believe what they have seen." Leora nodded. "Good. Let them remember. Let the galaxy remember. Humanity is no longer a story. Humanity is a force of the stars." Across countless systems, alien civilizations spread word of what had happened. Entire fleets vanished in perfect strikes. Stations were captured or destroyed. Cities that had once doubted humans trembled at the news. The whispers of old stories had become screams of fear. Humans were no longer a shadow, they were a legend that commanded respect. In the hidden fleets, crews worked silently. There was no celebration, no arrogance. Humans did not boast. They only prepared, only acted, only reminded the galaxy that underestimation had always been a fatal mistake. Commander Xyler, the once proud leader of the Andrus cluster, stared at the reports with disbelief. It cannot be 10,000 dreadnoughts, precise, unstoppable, he muttered. But it was true. He and every other commander had learned a hard lesson. Humanity could not be ignored. Humanity could not be defeated through numbers alone. On the horizon, Leora addressed her crew. We have shown the galaxy our strength. We have proven that humans are not myths. Legends endure, and today the universe will remember why. But our work is not done. The stars are vast and the galaxy is still growing. We will remain vigilant, ready for anything. That is what it means to be human. Outside, in the cold blackness of space, the human armada drifted silently, waiting for the next signal, the next threat, the next challenge. Every ship, every crew member, every weapon was ready. They had proven themselves in battle, but their presence alone was now a warning. Legends had collided with reality. Myths had awakened. The galaxy had learned a truth it could no longer ignore. Humans were brilliant, fearless, and unstoppable. And somewhere, far across the stars, new civilizations began to whisper the name of humanity. They spoke it with fear, respect, and awe. Humans had returned, not as stories, not as myths, but as a force that would shape the destiny of the universe. The galaxy remembered. And humanity had begun its reign among the